to the channel. So it's basically storage time for the car. So I'm going to be replacing parts here and there on it. First up is the clutch cable. This is an OEM clutch cable that's currently in the car. It has nothing wrong with it. It works perfectly fine. But it's got some cracks along the outside of the cable, which gets me thinking it could be the original cable that came with the car. If it is, then it's 30-something years old. It's about time that it needs to be replaced. But since it works perfectly fine, we're going to keep it around as a spare, just in case in the future. You never know. So what cable are we going to be putting in today? We're going to be putting in another OEM cable. Yes, these OEM cables are very hard to find and they're very expensive because parts hoarders are charging in the range of $200 to $300 US plus shipping for these cables. So I'll show you guys the cables that I got. I actually got two of them. So these are the two cables. As you can see, it has the Honda stickers on them. They are OEM. This is NOS. So my friend basically helped me find these cables. They're the last two in all of North America. I didn't have to buy both of them. I only really needed one. Bought both of them because it only costs $140 Canadian for both cables. So that's $70 each for a cable. So that really is way better than paying $200-something US plus shipping for one cable. So it was a no-brainer. The last two left, so I bought the last two. Anyways, guys, big shout out to my friend. Thank you very much for getting me these cables. You know who you are. So we're just gonna get started now. We're gonna basically pull the old cable, put in the new cable, and adjust the new cable. As well as we're gonna show you how to lube up the clutch pedal because my clutch pedal makes a little bit of squeaking noise as I'm pushing it down. So we're gonna be putting in, we're gonna be lubing it up with some lithium grease. That's also OEM. So I'll show you guys the grease. Got this basically here, it's OEM lithium grease. So basically go in there and spray it. So we're just gonna get started. All right guys, so just to show you guys what I'm talking about on the cable, this is an OEM, old OEM cable, and you can see that there's cracks here. There's also cracks here that I've taped up just to hide it. So it looks pretty awful, but it still works perfectly fine. But we're gonna be taking this thing out. All right guys, so this is where your cable, I guess, adjustment is. You're gonna first start off by loosening this adjusting bolt all the way, and then we're gonna pull the cable out of the lever here. All right, so there you go. The cable is disengaged. So it looks pretty straightforward. You just kind of loop it out. So yeah, now we're gonna go inside the car and disengage it from the pedal. All right, so in here, on the back, there's basically a hook where the cable is hooked onto. So you just gotta unhook it, and then the cable will come disengage. The pedal's really loose now because the cable is having no tension, so it should be pretty easy to disengage. All right, so once the cable is disengaged, you can basically just pull it out of this grommet here. You can see, it just comes right out, just like that. So you see, that's where the hook is. That's where it's basically hooked onto. You can see it's all nice and crummy on there. But there you go, the cable is out. All right guys, so here's the new cable versus the old cable. Whoa. So it's got the nice covered end here. We're just gonna have to pull that off. But that's what it looks like. It looks really nice for a new cable. So one of the things you gotta make sure you do is when you put this in, you're gonna have to lube the pedal part where it hooks onto here. So there needs to be some sort of grease that's applied onto this end and onto the pedal. So just make sure you do that before you put it in. All right, so I pulled this piece off and we're gonna apply some grease onto this tip here. And then we're gonna do the same on the pedal. So we're gonna climb inside the car and apply it onto the pedal as well. There you go, all nice and greased up. You don't need a lot of it, just need a little bit of grease because this is a pivoting point, right? All right, so installation will be in reverse order. You shove the new cable into this hole and then loop it all the way around, and we'll re-loop it into here. And then I'll show you guys how to really adjust it. All right guys, so in order to adjust this, you basically tighten this nut down until there's about 4 to 5 millimeters of free play on that arm. So when you lift this arm up, there should be about 4 to 5 millimeters of play. Essentially what you do is it's hard to film and stuff. You lift this up. You hear that clicking? That's the free play that you're having. So another way to measure this is basically you look over here And when you lift this cable up, there should be some gap here. So basically you're pulling the lever up, and that's the amount of free play in there. So just look at here, when you lift the cable, you see there's a gap. That's basically the free play. So you want 4 to 5 millimeters of that here. All right, so the other thing to check is basically the free play here. There should be about 15 to 20 millimeters of free play. So you push this down with your hand and just guesstimate. So it's easier to do with two hands, but essentially you want to measure the amount of free play before it starts tensioning here. So it needs to be about 15 to 20 millimeters of play. As you can see, this seems like a lot right here, the pedal as it moves, but you could basically you feel it the best with your hand by doing this. So you would adjust, keep going back and forth and adjusting it until this feels approximately right. All right, now to grease stuff. So basically you want to spray some lithium grease on any of these white areas. Anywhere that pivots, you want to spray some grease on it. So I've sprayed some over here, and you basically let it set anywhere where it's basically pivoting and moves, so that it moves nice and smooth. So I've already sprayed a whole bunch, and that's basically it. That's the install. All right, so there you go. There's the new cable. It looks freaking nice. Well, it's new, so it better look nice. But that's basically how it would go. All right, guys, so that's basically the install for the clutch cable and lubing up the clutch pedal a little bit. So everything works fine. You just gotta test your pedal feel and everything. So basically, engine bay, that has to be 4 to 5 millimeters. Inside the pedal should be 15 to 20 millimeters. So that's basically it for this install, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you guys out. If you haven't already, please comment, like, and subscribe, and share my videos. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.